What is up? My name is Trey. I am creating this video to show you some stuff on Tarkov. I'm going to keep posting more Tarkov content and some other kind of like other games and whatnot that I do actually play. Uh, I normally play with my friend Jack. He's not on right now, so I'm just going to make a video. It's not going to be much. It's just going to be a basic streets run showing you where to get the uh the relaxation room. So it's going to show you where to get this key 100% of the time. So that way you're not paying 250k for one key. That's a guaranteed static spawn on the part of streets. So we're just going to hop straight into streets. And I'll also show you some other things while we're in there and kind of point some things out. Maybe you're looking for the boss on streets. I can show you where the boss is at. How to tell if he's there. It's a pretty given fact when he's there 9 times out of 10. To kind of show you the areas to avoid also when he's there. And then I'll uh I'll try to stream an entire screen and kind of show you where we were and kind of the route that we took if you know where streets is. If you know the entire map of streets, cool. You won't need the map, but just as like a kind of like for some of the new people that may be coming in since 1.0 and they're seeing this key go for 250k and then they look up where the key's at and they see the location of the key and they're just like, cool, that's all I need to know, and then they buy the key off of Fleet when they can buy it, and then they're spending 250k for a key that might only give them a figurine or two because the loot does differ. It's not always going to give you, with that one YouTuber kid got three moonshines, a Bitcoin, a Rolex. It's not always going to give you that. Sometimes you're going to go in there and you're going to get an Iskra and maybe a Veritas. Okay, cool. You just made 60k. Your next hit has to pay at minimum 200k, or you just lost a bunch of money on that key. So I'm hoping to get rid of some of that confusion and hopefully the key that's 100% spawn, unless it spawns inside the locked room, which is negotiation, unless it spawns in there, you can just go in, get the key, get out. If anything, grab a negotiation key. They're normally pretty cheap because nothing really spawns in there other than the relaxation room. Or you can hit scavs, uh, a bunch of filing cabinets. When you're hitting filing cabinets on streets, it's a very high chance to pop up a negotiation key room. You can do this loot run as a scav as well. Your extracts and everything else would be a little bit different, but for the most part, you can do this as a scav. You can do this as a PMC. You can do this with a group of 5, or you can do this as a solo. There's also a ton of filing cabinets to hit on here. Marked keys are dropping left and right from jackets and filing cabinets and the pockets and backpacks of scavs. Streets has an abundance of all three of those things. So you kill a scav, loot his bag, loot his pockets. If he doesn't have a bag, loot his vest or whatever rig he may have on. If he picks up anything valuable and he doesn't have a backpack, unless it's a one slaughter, it's going to be in his rig. They do it. If they have a bag, loot the bag, loot the pockets. Valuables could possibly spawn in there. You could get a marked key. I've personally pulled a check 13 key out of the backpack of a scav. I've pulled almost 100,000 rubles out of the pockets of a scav. So all of these things are just stuff that you figure out if you don't watch a bunch of YouTube videos on how to make money quick. This is how this is the map to do it on. It sucks, but it is what it is. I've never had a on any other map that I play. I don't get a 5 minute fucking load in time. I only get that on streets. And I've got a pretty halfway decent build. And I still rush. Another tip and trick, if you want to see your FPS in game and you don't want to use an overlay, hit the little squiggly to bring up the command. FPS space 1. And that'll give you your FPS up here in the top corner. There's, I think, 10 different commands for FPS, each one giving a little bit more information. But if you do FPS 10, it takes up quite a bit of your screen space. So my buddy, he runs FPS 2. That just gives you your packet loss, your player return time, and then your ping. I personally use FPS 1. I just want to know what my FPS is. It'll tell me when I get packet loss. Alright, so we spawn quite far away. We spawned over here by Emercom. If nobody knows where Emercom is, it's okay. Not a lot of people do know where Emercom is, but that means that we've probably got a sewer river exit, which is great. We've got a damaged house, that works too. So, Emercom, right through these gates. If I remember correctly from map terminology, it is in the top right of the map. That little tent right there is the Emercom extract. So we're just going to go from Emercom and work our way to negotiation, and then work our way to the hive, and then work our way to damaged house. So you've got Emercom right there. I don't know exactly what spawns in there. I've never looted there. I've just always extracted there. We are going to try to stay out of the fights, but it's not always the most possible thing to do, so we might get into a little skirmish here. Just gonna run up this street. We're gonna go to negotiation, and then I'll take you over to hive, kind of show you where one of the marked rooms are, or actually 2 of the marked rooms. That is the negotiation building right there. And it does sound like the boss is here just based off of the gunshots. So we're also going to take that into consideration as in our routing. Alright, so welcome to negotiation. So your first spawn is going to be right here on this tray where my laser is. It's going to be right here on this. You'll have some food spawns, marble spawns, stuff like that on the table. You're going to open this door. Your second spawn is going to be up here, right about where my laser is. Third spawn is on this door right here, on this little key loop. Fourth spawn is on this hookah. Now, personally, I've never found it on the hookah. It's either been right there, or in one of the other 3 spawns that I'm going to show you. You've got some weapon cases here. You can find some weapons here and weapons on the wall. But the way that I loot this building is I loot from the back, which is where I find the key the most, up to the front, which is where I find it the least. So you can find it right there on this little washing machine. You can find it in the pizza box, which is where it's at. So we're going to take that, put it in the good old prison wallet. And then I'm going to show you the other spawns as well. So in this, I guess, last room, so to say, you can find it right there in this little ID nameplate thing. You can find it right there in the corner. And then you've got some like tech spawns, food spawns, and stuff in this room. And then we move on to the very next room. And this room has 2 spawns for the key. The key can either be in the mouth of the skull, or it can be the genitalia of the statue. It will be in one of those two spawns. It'll be either right there where my laser's at, or it'll be right there where my laser's at. Or it could also be on the other side. I'm not too entirely sure. And then we get to this very first room. And there's two spawns in here. So your first spawn is right here in this little book. It'll be in this little kind of like folded up page. It'll be right in there. And then your second spawn is on the back of this coat hanger on these two, like kind of resting up between these two things. And then also you have some more food and water spawn in here, which I'm actually going to grab some. And then your last spawn, if it's not in any of those rooms, it's going to be in this room. This is the negotiation key room. It'll be in there. And if it's in there, well, I guess get the filing cabinets. You have a marked room here. So, kind of straight back, almost right about there, that window. You'll go in there, follow like the kind of like pre-made path where you'll duck through a wall, and that'll be your check 13 key. This is where you have to be careful because the boss is in Lexos. I think I just heard somebody in here. They're all dead things. PMCs do like this building. But it also could have been sniper scavs. So the boss spawns in this building. A good way to tell if the boss is there is there will be snipers on the roof of that building right there where my laser's at. There will be snipers up there. There's 3 or 4. So always be wary of that. So if you've already done delicious sausage, you should know where we're at. This is one of your Sparger rooms. That was a construction site and collapsed crane extract, if you know where that's at. So we're going to run down here. This is the area. This is the intersection where you need to be careful. We're going to cut straight across over here to this stop sign, because down there's where the snipers are. Gonna come to this police car, go up the stairs, and on PvP you'll find a lot of people hiding in this corner and really all over this area, just because it's a very high traffic area to avoid the boss. Now you can have some PMCs in here fighting the boss. You can have 2 sniper scavs up here on this building. Which one is up there? Scav or a PMC. Yep, there's that sniper scav shooting at us now. Oof. Okay, so I want to disengage because I do not have the range to fight that. And they can be much better shots than me. Be careful walking over that way when the boss is here. There is a grenade launcher, and they are very accurate. So you can have PMCs back here. You can have PMCs back there in this area, or right inside this building. It's kind of a toss-up of which one they sit in. They can be inside this room. They can also be down the street. So I have seen PMCs in both of these doors. And then we've got we had a scav or PMC 1. So this is the relaxation room, otherwise known as the hive. We're gonna come in. You don't have to come in and close the door, but I am. And then I'll wait for the BTR to drive off. So you don't have to come in and close the door. AI in this game who will not walk into a locked room to stop them from picking up the high tier stuff that could be in them. So you can see right here, we got a moonshine. You want to check very well on the seats. Make sure you don't get your little white dot, your perception dot. And then, yeah, you're just going to check all of your seats. And all of the corners and everything. Just make sure that you don't have anything poking at you when you look in there. Make sure you ain't got a white dot. So I don't see anything else in here. So I'm going to look. I found Bitcoins in this area right here. There's a rare spawn here. You can find Bitcoins and stuff right here. You can find helmets, body armor, stuff right there. And then in this room, you can find stuff on this chair, on this table, and on this chair. You can find stuff on both of these tables. I like to climb up on the chair and kind of stuff my face into the seat. Smell what they had for dinner, because I know one of them farted on it. And we're just going to kind of move our cursor back and forth, looking for that white perception dot. I didn't see anything on it. So I'm going to move to this desk, or this seat. We've got a Riz. We're going to stuff our face in the corner. And stuff our face in the corner. So nothing on that side. And the same thing here. We're going to stand up and sniff it. We got a clock. And we're going to do the same for all of these chairs. Now you can have stuff that spawns in like kind of like the pocket area of this. I did not. You can have stuff spawn right here. And then it might not look, you can also have stuff spawn right here. And it might not give you a perception if you're just straight looting it. And then both of the tables. So I mean, overall, the room wasn't great. I've gotten some figurines. I got a Tetris. I got a moonshine. And a blue flare, apparently. I don't remember picking up either of these 3 items, but I probably did. It's either that or I brought them in with me, so. So we've looted the high tier spawns. You can loot the duffel bags if you want. I don't need to, so I'm not going to. I'm going to peek out and peek out. That door's still closed, so we don't have to worry about PMCs potentially being in there now. And then we're going to loot the safe. Because the safe always has goodies. It's got some money and some more money. And then we're going to go loot this, this poor soul that I dropped. An S-Mark that he probably picked up somewhere. And then an A12. So, right through here. And this is where the abandoned factory is. You'll go in through this door. You'll go across that catwalk. And it's the door on that side of the building. It'll be the only one marked with kind of like lightning bolts and whatnot in it. So when you loot the hive, or relaxation, you'll either have Sewer River, which is going down where that tram is coming out of the ground. And you'll come back this way a little bit. There's a scav extract. There's an extract right there at the corner of the building, and you'll just open up the door, go downstairs. I have damaged house, so I'm actually going to come back this way. That's PMC. I need to kill these PMCs with this. I do apologize, gentlemen. Or ladies. Alright, we're gonna loot this house, and then the extraction is just right there. So, we're gonna go ahead and skedaddle. Yeah, Cinema, if you're looking at it, it's gonna be the left side, damaged house right here. You'll come up through either one of these doors, and then you're in the extraction zone. You used to have to come all the way back here to these trash bags to extract, but now it's anywhere inside the doors. And that's a good area to loot to get to get some money. As you can see, I got lucky this raid. And then what you can also do after is you can either sell the key or you can keep the key, take it into your very next raid with you, get a full use key, and then sell it to the people that would much rather just run straight to the room than look for the key, or to the people that just don't care enough to read farther into the Tarkov wiki about where said key actually spawns. There we go. So now you should be able to see the map of streets. So we can kind of zoom in a little bit here. So right here is Klimov. This is the shopping center. And we actually spawned right here. So this is kind of where we spawned. And then I'm going to make the paintbrush just a little bit bigger, so that way y'all can see kind of where we went. And then I'll mark it in red. So we spawned right here. We then made our way over to Expo. We came down from Expo and went up this street. And then we came up to this street. And then we came in here. And this is where we get the relax room. I'll mark it in red for relax. And then we came back out this street. Came down this road. This is where the boss spawns. This is Lexos. You can see right here. And all of this beautiful area is actually mined, minus the street. So you can actually walk through the doors to get into it. Most of the front of the building is also claymored. So we checked, we looked for sniper scavs, and then we came down this little side road next to Delicious Sausage. This is the Sparge store. And then we came through the hole in the wall, and we kind of came down through here, avoiding all of the scavs. Came over this way, went through this building, up through here, down through here, started getting shot at from Cinema. So we kind of cut through the courtyard and walked up this side of the street where none of them could see us. And then we came up here, and this is the other part of relaxation room. This was your relaxation room where you got the loot. This is the relaxation room where you got the key. So that's relax key. This is relax room. And then we came down here and we extracted through damage. If you're a scav and you get entrance to catacombs, you come right down through here, go around that corner, there's a door, go downstairs. And if you got sewer river, you go there. And if you have a green flare and say your extract is crash site and you don't want to run back through there, you just come up here, shoot your flare off, and then run out flare. So that's kind of the path that we took. We got the key here. Then we came down through here. We started getting shot at from Semina, so we cut across and we ran up the street. We looted Relax. I went to go extract a damaged house. Ran into those 4 PMCs right here. Killed them, and then I extracted a damaged house. And that is the way that you can easily farm either 240,000 rubles a raid by just going and grabbing the relaxation room key, and then every 2 raids that you hit the relaxation room, you can literally just sell the fresh relaxation room key to those who are too lazy, or you just keep hitting it. You can sell the 1 use key for 100K and call it a day. post edit tray here. I sold everything. I made roughly 700K off of everything. The Tetris, the Blue Flare, and the money that I found in my stash came from the BTR quest, as the little pop up text said. But I also sold the relaxation room key. I got about 92K from it, somewhere in there. And like I said, it's a 100% chance spawn. I could have taken it into the next raid with me, kept the one use key, and then just sold the fresh 2 use key after I got back from the next raid. But other than that, that's pretty much it. The key sold shortly after ending the video, along with the moonshine. So, happy scavenging. If you did like the video, please like and subscribe. It greatly helps out the video and makes it reach more people. Thank you very much.